Welcome back to American Beef Ranch. You know what to do. Get down in the description, check out the link, support the channel, like, subscribe, and comment. Ladies and gentlemen, I have big dreams. I have huge aspirations. You know, as high as the mountaintops. And you know what? Every day that I do these little jobs all the time, it's taking me one little step closer to those huge dreams and big goals that I have. So today, we are spreading some of the world's best fertilizer with my IH6588 and a 5-ton fertilizer cart. So let's get it hooked up and get to work. All right, this is a fertilizer cart or fertilizer spreader. Basically, you hook it up to your tractor. It's hooked up to the PTO. It's got a spinner deal back there, and you set rates and everything, and you spread fertilizer at the back. Well, today we're spreading some of the world's best fertilizer, but first we got to get hooked up. So we're going to get this hooked up first, and then we got to do a little work to this PTO shaft. Okay, pinned on. Jack it down just a little bit. Store our jack. This one does have a set of hydraulic remotes. I'm going to unpin our PTO shaft. A lot of times the least expensive carts, they'll have a pull rope. So basically what this does is engage and disengage the fertilizer. So we're going to plug that into my #1 remote. I think this cart's brand new, which would be awesome. Thanks, Smith Equipment Company. They're in Hayburn, Idaho. You can check them out on the internet, smithequipment.com. So this one's kind of cool because it can run off of 2 different PTO speeds. So in PTOs, there's 540 and 1000 are the standard PTO speeds. Smaller tractors typically have a 540. This tractor is equipped with a what they call a small 1000, so smaller shaft 1000. So all we do is slide out that shaft. We go ahead and stow it, and we slide in this shaft and line the cover up. Then we just, you know, hook up. So you just slide it on. This one's not wanting to pop out. Yeah, see, it's supposed to pop out just like that. I don't know if it's quite going on far enough or what. We'll work on that in a minute. But one other thing we got to do, because there's 2 different speeds, obviously, if you spin a 540 machine at 1000 RPMs, probably cause damage to it. So, oh, and this has already been greased by the people. So as you can see here, open up, the belt has been set to 540. So we gotta switch this around. I bet we take this 7/8, or that's 15/16 nut off. This slides off. We switch this pulley over, and then, yeah. Is there a nut on the back side? Or a bolt? I don't know. Could be. Okay, let's see if I gotta get a wrench for the back side. Okay. Definitely brand new. I want to thank them for letting me rent a brand new one. Darn it. So this is a bolt, and so obviously on the back side there is something. Yeah, just a regular bolt head. So I'm gonna go grab, I think I can get my impact gun in here. So far I like this design. After we get the paint off, it's really simple, which is nice to see, because a lot of new equipment is super complicated in a bad way. there's complicated stuff in a good way too, but there's no reason to complicate you know, a regular old fertilizer spreader. I mean, you can get a really fancy spreader that helps you with, you know, variable rate, things like that, but sometimes they make them to the point where they're so complicated they ain't even worth it. So I'll get this guy off. So I'm guessing, because pretty self-explanatory, you have two spacers, you move this belt, right, because the thousands, you move the belt over, you swap the spacers, put the big spacer on first, big spacer, pulley, tensioner pulley, little spacer, oh come on, lock nut, or lock washer, and a nut. And as simple as that. And this is regular old hardware you get at the dang hardware store. So it's not like, you know, if you lose it, it's really that big of a deal. Then we tighten it up. I wish I had my impact gun. And this belt's not gotta be crazy super tight. Snug, sure. There you go. Just like that. I wish it was a little straighter. Just like that, ready to go. I just wanted to take a second and talk about actually what I'm spreading. So, in my heart of hearts, I wholeheartedly believe this is the best fertilizer in the world. So this is a combination blended product. It takes two products. So number one is the specially processed chicken manure. It's superheated and super cooled. So basically it's the good parts of raw and good parts of compost all mixed into one. And then it's stabilized so there's no bacterial issues or anything like that. That product, the typical one we use is a 4-4-2. It is a biotic fertilizer, a biological fertilizer. It has active things in it. When combined with the lighter colored dirt, you see the sulfur product. So that product is a mine mineral product coming out of a mine here in the United States. It is sulfur, gypsum, calcium, any micronutrient you can think of. Basically, it's a really good combination of products, and it has a very low pH. So for people in my area with high pH, we want to bring that pH down. This combination product together, the chicken is about a 6. The mineral's about a 3, so you know you end up somewhere in between there, and helps bring the pH down, boost organic matter, help kick the biologicals in the soil in the butt. And really this combination, a lot of people balk at it's only a 4 nitrogen, that it's not enough nitrogen, but hold on a second, it's a biological. So already it's going to act differently than a traditional chemical nitrogen. It's going to act more potent, but then when you combine it with this sulfur, which is absolutely critical in the nitrogen cycle, you need sulfur that's available now, sulfur sulfate, sulfur sulfite, to help break down elemental sulfur and make more sulfur sulfate. A lot of times people put on elemental sulfur, but it doesn't see any results for 5 years. Well, that's because you got to have sulfur sulfate in the nitrogen cycle. Anyway, when you blend those combinations together, man, it really feeds the plant. Okay, so I didn't get to finish my spiel, but it's really good fertilizer, and we're using it. So I got out 3 fields, all 3 of my little fields spread yesterday. The only issue, and we're gonna do some more spreading today, so you guys will get to see that. We'll talk more about the cart. The only issue I did have was there's some weeds out here, and I was digging into the weeds, and the weeds were getting stuck in the weeds were getting stuck in it. So there's that. When I started water, apparently there was a spot that I needed to fix, and I probably should have fixed it, but this little pivot over here, the one that we have the most trouble in, it is stuck. So we're gonna have to go get it unstuck. That's what we're working on right now. As soon as we get it unstuck, that we're gonna start spreading on the rest of the ground and hopefully get all this fertilizer here spread. And then I got 5 more tons in Utah I need to go pick up. I guess we'll figure that out later. Okay, so it's pretty simple. As you can see, I've got the pivot hooked up to the backhoe, and what I'm gonna do is go in my phone and on my app, because this pivot has GPS, and I'm just gonna turn it on, and then I'm gonna pull it out. Really pretty simple. I'm also gonna turn the pivot up so it's moving pretty quickly. That way that I have a chance to actually get it out onto some dry ground. And I just wait for it to move. So the end tower is moving, I can see the end tower moving, and now we're moving here. And I just pull on it really slowly. I'm letting the pivot, basically I'm just giving the pivot traction and letting the pivot do most of the work. Usually it doesn't take too much to pull a pivot out. It usually just needs a little help with the traction, and then it'll do it on its own. See, the pivot's moving itself now. I'm not even having to push the gas. We're just pulling this pivot along. So now we'll wait and see if it'll walk itself out. Usually they'll walk themselves out pretty quick. It doesn't take a whole lot, honestly. Yep, you can see the chain loosening there, and it's walking itself forward. I did a little work here on this pivot track, just kind of filling it in, trying to, you know, fix this spot. I'm gonna have to come back later tonight after it dries out some more and do some more cleanup work. And get this filled in, bring in some dry dirt. Because there's a bad spot there and it just needs to be filled in from the ridge of the hill up there on the right side of your screen down to the pivot. And you can see that back tire's in a heck of a hole. There's a couple holes there that I'm gonna have to get filled in as well. While we're waiting, I want you guys to look at this field, and you can see how dry and dead it looks. And this is a combination of low organic matter and bad soil fertility. So this field was desert a couple years ago, and so this is like the second full year we've watered it, and it just, soil health wise, it's way behind. It needs a lot of help fertility wise, and you guys can see just how brown and dead it looks. And we wonder why our yield's so bad. Well, you can kind of tell there's only a couple of spots where it's nice and green, and this strip right here is really nice and green because it's got way more water than everything else has. And then you got some other spots like over here where the fertility is better, that you can see this, you know, the crop is better itself. So this fertilizer is going to help bring this back. I mean, this was really pretty green, all of it, and it was always green, but you know, over time we're going to see this constantly improve, which is, you know, exciting. But you can tell, like, we just need some help. Look how, get you even higher and let you look at it. We just need some help. Pretty ugly. Right up here, jump out, get some water started, and yeah. So actually, while I was talking to you guys, the pivot misaligned a little bit and kind of got out of whack, so I just got to back it up a little bit. I'm trying not to get stung by wasps. There's a whole bunch of them around here. I want to turn that percentage down so that the tower, like the end tower moves so much and then the other tower has a chance to catch up almost. I really don't want to go back down there. That'll work. And then I want to go reverse manual alignment. And basically what that's doing is I'm just backing the end tower up a little bit to get the safety system to click back in. And then once the safety system clicks back in, you're good to go forward. So honestly, that's probably far enough. I'm just gonna give it a little more. But I don't want that tower to back up any either. Okay, now we're going forward. And hopefully that tower will crawl itself out of the mud all the rest of the way without me having to go intervene. I think it already shut itself off. Dang it. We're gonna have to go back down there. Okay, now you can see what it's supposed to look like. So I'm gonna turn the percentage down to where I want it. I'm gonna turn the pivot back on. Okay, we're moving forward at 40%, and then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna turn on the water. So just like that, we're watering, starting to. And now we can show you what it's supposed to look like. Fertilizer's loaded like you guys saw, and we're headed to the field. It's hot. This stuff's dusty. I'm sweaty. Let's get to work.